What's going on, everybody? My name's Eli, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, I'm a first-year dental student at the Boston University Henry M. Goldman School of Dental Medicine. On this channel, I make videos with tips for pre-dental students, as well as document my journey through and after dental school. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. New videos every Tuesday and Thursday. You don't want to miss them. So today's video, I wanted to stay within the realm of applications. Right now is a big time for students that are applying to dental school, this application cycle. I wanted to make a video about personal statements. I know if you're anything like me and you majored in biology in college, there's a strong chance that you consider yourself a math and science type of person, and maybe writing or reading isn't necessarily your strongest suit. So everyone that's applying to dental school or even medical school has to write a personal statement. And if you write your personal statement well, it can serve as something that sets you apart from other applicants. Now, when I was approaching the personal statement, I looked at it one way. The people that are reviewing your application can see everything on there when it comes to your GPA, your DAT score, maybe what you were involved in school, but your personal statement is exactly what it says in the name. It's a statement about what you're about, tell them why you want to be a dentist, and things of that sort. So let's get right into it. When it comes to writing your personal statement, the hardest thing is thinking about where do I start? So I tried to put a couple of questions that I thought about when I started writing my personal statement, and that I looked back at my personal statement and saw that I answered, and decided to give those to you guys as kind of a starting point, figuring out what you're going to write about in your personal statement. Because the first thing that it is content. You have to figure out what's going in there, then you can figure out how to word it or what your grammar is going to be like and stuff like that. So the main things you want to answer when you're thinking about what to write in your personal statement are, of course, why do I want to be a dentist? What have I done so far that shows my passion for dentistry or my passion for this career field? And what do I want my application reviewers, or just in general, what do I want the school to know about me that they may not be able to tell just from looking at my application and my stats? So when you're thinking about where to start when it comes to your personal statement, a good idea is to just write down some generic answers to those questions, get a good reason of why you want to be a dentist, as well as think about some of the extracurriculars you've done, such as shadowing or maybe working in a dental office, or maybe even being a dental hygienist or a dental assistant. Compile those reasons and use it to answer your question of why you want to be a dentist and what have you done so far that would show the school why you want to be a dentist. So of course, as someone that's applying to dental school or medical school, you know that there are plenty examples of personal statements online. Whether you're in a study group for your DAT, or you're in some kind of student doctor group, or if you go on Student Doctor Network or just Google, you can most likely find someone who's willing to share their personal statement with you, or find an example online of someone who was willing to put theirs online. I personally think that while those can be a very helpful resource, your personal statement will be so much better just coming from the heart. Talk about yourself. At the end of the day, it's personal. So you want to talk about yourself and your journey, and sometimes looking at too many samples can kind of loop you into a box of just what a generic personal statement sounds like, or it won't really set you apart when your application reviewer is reading your personal statement. So I wanted to get into some of the logistics of actually writing a personal statement. How long should it be? How do I edit it? Who should review it? Things like that, because all of those things matter when it comes to writing your personal statement, right? So I tried to keep my personal statement to about 1 to 1.5 pages. You know that the people reviewing your application are looking at hundreds and maybe thousands of applications depending on how big their admissions committee is and how many applicants they have. So you want to do a short personal statement that's going to grab their attention, keep them focused, make them want to read about your story, of course, and then, if you think you can get all of your ideas out in just a little bit over 1 page, that's perfect, because it's not too long and it's a good length of writing to have. Also, if I remember correctly, I think that AdSAS has a character limit or maybe a word limit. I think it was a character limit, so you kind of are limited to what you can work with, but I think my personal statement was around 1.5 pages. So of course, I wrote my own personal statement, and looking back at the folder that I saved when I was applying to dental school, I actually have, I think, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I have 11 versions of my personal statement saved in this folder. And I'll actually put a screenshot on the screen of what this folder looks like. I saved my first edit on February 29th of 2020. Of course, it was a leap year. And my final edit was on June 3rd. So my personal statement was very much a work in progress. I did all the trials and tribulations of writing a personal statement because I felt like I wanted it to be perfect or nearly perfect. So in general, my personal statement followed basically the guidelines that I told you all about. I started off talking a little bit about what drew me to have an interest in dentistry, talk about why I kept that interest in dentistry for so long, and then I talked about what I did to ensure that that was really my passion and show the schools, that I'm really truly interested in this, and this is something that I want to do as a career field. Like I said, it was definitely 1.5 pages, and while I won't go too much into detail about what's in my personal statement for the exact reason that I told you guys about falling into this box of what generic personal statements sound like, I'll tell you guys kind of what my process was, why it went all the way from February 29th to June 3rd, and the things that I did that I think made my personal statement a really good one, or at least one of the best ones that I've ever written. So for those of you who don't know, in 2020, I was in a graduate school program called G Squared. I knew that I was planning on applying at the end of this program, and I wanted to get a head start on my application materials. I told you guys I asked for my letter of recommendations early on, like in January or February, and I also started working on my personal statement then, just so I can get the things out of the way that I didn't necessarily need the application for. So something that I thought was really important for why my personal statement went so well was the way that I went about reviewing and editing it. After I finished writing my personal statement, first I put it through Grammarly. I feel like that was the best way to get kind of a first look at it without sending it to people. And like I said, I am not the strongest writer, so I thought that putting it in Grammarly would be a good way to take out some of the repetitiveness that I may have accidentally left in there, maybe some typos that I didn't catch, or some wording errors that I could fix. After I put it through Grammarly, I had a TA from my graduate program look at it. I felt like this was a good next step because they were people who had already been accepted into medical school, so they knew a little bit about writing a personal statement, and I thought that they could help me out a little bit. So once I had them look over and edit it, I wrote another version of my personal statement, and then I did one thing that I thought was integral in the process of my personal statement becoming better. So I actually had a good friend of mine look over my personal statement. Camille, if you're watching this, shout out to you. I told her basically that what I wanted to do was make sure that someone who had no idea about anything in the field of dentistry or applying to dental school or anything like that would look over my personal statement and be able to tell me that they really understand why I want to be a dentist and what I've done to show my passion for dentistry. So I thought that having her look over my personal statement, thankfully she's also a really good writer in my opinion. She majored in journalism, so I felt like that would be a good way to kind of get someone who's good with storytelling and understanding that kind of stuff to look at my personal statement and just tell me what she thinks, and if she thinks that's a well told and well flowing story of why I want to be a dentist. So I thought that was a really good way to get my personal statement looked at, and I feel like that's something that maybe slips people's minds sometimes because they're so worried about a professor looking at their personal statement or a dentist looking at their personal statement that they forget that, you know, some people that work in the admissions committee are just administrators or something like that. They may not know too much about the actual field of dentistry, and they're just reading your personal statement and putting your application through or not. Now, of course, an administrator at a dental school most likely knows a little bit about dentistry, but you want to make sure that your personal statement makes sense to someone who may have no idea about the field of dentistry itself, or just a generic idea that doesn't extend past the general populations. Now, of course, I wish I could be that guy that can offer you help with your personal statement or offer to review your personal statements. I would love to be that person, but
you're not that guy, pal. Trust me, you're not that guy.
Just with the nature of how busy school has been or is going to be, and compiled with the fact that I am not the best writer, I just don't think that's my position. I do highly recommend that you seek help from someone when it comes to your personal statement. Definitely get another set of eyes on it, because anything can sound good to you, but that doesn't mean it sounds good to other people. And other people are the ones that are going to be reading your personal statement. So that's all I have when it comes to personal statement, guys. This video may be a little shorter than my typical video when it comes to the pre-dent tips, but people did ask me about personal statements in the past, and I figured while I'm talking about things on an application cycle such as interviewing and things like that, I might as well attack something that we all struggle with, which is the personal statement. I feel like that's pretty much one of the hardest parts of the application, if you ask me, is perfecting your personal statement. And so I just wanted to do what I could to offer some help, and hopefully I gave you guys some good pointers when it comes to writing your personal statement. So as usual, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like, and if you have any questions, don't forget to leave a comment under the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, smash the subscribe button for me. New videos every week. You don't want to miss them. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.